Hello, and I'm back with a review on P Valley. Now, this is going to be on my entertainment review channel, and I was supposed to do this actually on Sunday because that's when I saw it, or I think it was Monday, one of the two. But I basically wasn't able to do it because I had to take care of something that was really pertinent. So I saw the season 2 premiere episode, and I'm going to be honest with you. I was kind of disappointed in it. I mean, for the long wait, I waited almost 2 years for the show to come back. I'm not going to say it was bad, but it was just a little bit like somber. But I'm going to do the review. It's going to be real quick because even though it was 64 minutes, to me, it wasn't that exciting. So it opens up with the episode where this man, he's seeing a poster of Mercedes' mother. And Mercedes' mother is a con artist, religious woman. She's about the Lord, but also that money. It's a hustle for her. So she has her own church now. So he's looking at the billboard like, come to church. But he's also seeing the sign for this place called P-Land, like Pussyland. So it's either I go to this church or I go to Pussyland. So he sees the woman who's basically advertising, you can see titties. So he decides to go to Pussyland. So when he gets there, he sees Haley, and Haley is basically talking about how, what type of, car, how would you like your car washed? So he tells her, and then it goes from there. So when he gets inside, all the girls are basically, doing their thing. But first he sees Uncle Clifford, and he's like, what the hell? And Uncle Clifford, he's not going to try to do anything, but he's like, he'll basically do like a tease and stuff, but Uncle Clifford is not the type of person that's going to try to, do anything else to you. So Uncle Clifford is dressed up as a woman, and then that's when you start to see some of the other dances, and then the star of the show, Mercedes, comes out and she does her dance. So afterwards, he basically, ejacks, and Haley gives him Clorox wipes to fix that. And then the intro comes up. So that's what I wanted to open up with. But I'm going to talk about the highlights. The highlights of the episode was Mercedes is still basically trying to, leave the pink. She basically did get the down payment from studio from Haley. Also, you have everything opening back up because the Rona hit. So the money that Haley used to save the club, it did last, but then other monies are, being spent courtesy of Uncle Clifford. So Haley is pissed, and she's like, I want my money and I want it now. You going to do right. What happened to the other, $50K? So he tells her what it was, and he's like, no, we can't be in a hole again. So what ends up happening is that he basically promises that he's going to, get more girls and, bring more business in. And now that everything's back open, everything should be just fine. So then you have Mercedes. She sees Keyshawn on the TV. And she's like, oh, not that bitch. Hell no. Now, she got a beef with Keyshawn because she pulls a gun on Family. And Family is the guy who was the bouncer at the Pink. Her boyfriend, who is white, basically didn't like Keyshawn dancing amongst all the black men. So he don't mind her being an exotic dancer. He just don't want her dancing amongst black men. So the guy who was really nice and kind to her, who really showed an interest in her, he protected Keyshawn because he saw him beating Keyshawn up. So when he saw it, he approached him last season. And so he was threatened. And he called him the N-word. So that's when they started fighting. But Keyshawn pulled the gun out on him instead of the baby father who was abusing her. So he was done. So when the club closed down, he got work at the dollar store. So what happens with that scene is she's still with the baby father. He's not abusing her for right now. She's happily making money. She's a star, but she wants to go on the road, but he don't want to go on the road with Little Murder. So she basically goes outside to get diapers and to get formula. And what ends up happening is that she sees him and he won't let her in, not just because she don't have a mask, but he don't want to deal with her. And he said to him, he said, the reason why I fought your baby father, because he calls all of us the N-word. If he could say that to us, imagine how he treats you at home. And she was like, Derek is his name. He don't do that to me. And so he was like, maybe not now, but he'll do it soon. So what ended up happening was that she walked away without buying any merchandise because he wouldn't let her in, which I didn't blame her. So let's go back to the scene with Little Murder. Little Murder wants Keisha on a tour with him. She's like, no, I can't do it because I got the kids that are going to let me. He tells his manager, Keyshawn is really great at what she does. She could basically go on tour and basically dance. But the problem is her boyfriend's white and he's not even feeling it. And knowing how he is, that's like even the worst problem is that he's a racist and he's an abuser. So that's one part. Another part is that Haley lives with Mercedes because she used all the money to save the club instead of using the money to basically put a down payment on a house or apartment. That the two don't get along. But Haley is basically telling her, you gotta save the club. We need you, not just to dance, but we need the other girls. Mercedes like, you ain't say you're going to bring other girls. She's like, listen, you got a bum shoulder. We got to bring new people in order to save the spot. So that was another highlight. Now, Clifford's cousin, who was the mayor, passed away. And Clifford's cousin has this big, extravagant, event. Because he passed away from the Rona, the man who Haley was interested in last year, I can't think of his name, but I'm going to look it up. I believe his name was, he's the man that played Obama. P-Valley. Hold on. I know I should have done more with this, but my insomnia be jacking everything up. Okay, you have Brandy Evans. Okay, so Diamond's the one that was protecting Keyshawn. Andre actually is the person that worked for the mayor, and he was the godson to the mayor. He passed away from COVID, and Andre's wife is a nurse. She works for a hospital, and basically she doesn't want him to go, but he goes anyway. And what ends up happening is that she tells him, listen, you can go pay your respects, but please don't go to the services. So they need an extra person because they need 6. So if you know what I'm getting at, they need one more person. So he goes and he actually speaks at the service. So there's a white man who actually takes over the town as mayor. And he's racist, but he plays it off like he's not. But he's a racist. And they're not really feeling him because not only is he a bigot, but he actually wants to buy the land and build a casino, which is going to cut through the town, which is going to destroy the pink. So because of that, Andre's not really feeling it because he became fond of Haley, even though he has a wife. So they don't have children, but he's not really feeling her. He's in love with Haley. So that's one scene that, passes on. And then we have Little Murda, who basically is seeing some old enemies. And we don't really know the gist of that because that hasn't really been explored. The first season premiere episode. But then Corbin comes back. He's the man who is the half brother to the white brothers who basically are rich. He's the one that goes to the Pink and tricks because his mother was the maid who had an affair with the father, with her boss, who was a rich white man. So Corbin is coming back. Now, although he loves being at the Pink, he wants money for that property deal. And Andre and him, they were friends. But then what ended up happening when everything fell through, they had a falling out. And it ain't been a good moment for Corbin since then. So those are like the highlights of it. But to me, I felt like the whole focus on, like, I understand the Rona scene was like, it was what it was. But focusing on Isaiah Washington and him not being on the show and most of the scene being about that, to me, it put a damper on the season premiere episode. I needed it to be much upward and much livelier. And that's all. So hopefully the one that they premiere tomorrow, hopefully that one is better. Because, if not, and it has like that type of monotone, I'm sorry, but that show may kind of be on a chopping block. And I don't want it to, because P-Valley was great. Particularly when it premiered the summer of 2020. Everybody was practically at home or working as essential workers. It was just like a really great film. A really great show. So I wanted to keep the momentum. Like, just deal with that. And just, move on from that. And with that being said, I'm signing off. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to Made TVP 2.0 Entertainment Reviews channel. If you already have it, hit the notification bell to receive notices for uploads. Like, comment, subscribe, share. And I'll talk to you later. Take care.